1v1 Fedrid Folly, blue side. Zoukka plays a force commander, fights in melee combat, pretty versatile, can tank, disrupt and support, but has some great offense. This is Blood Ravens, red side. Kisuke plays a Warboss, angry melee commander, walks through cover, very good offense, disruption and support from the front lines. Very green. Double scout opening for Zoukka. Pretty decent 1v1 map. We have a contested VP on the southeast corner and both of the naturals in this northwest type area reasonably close together, and a contested power all the way out here in the northwest corner. Double shooters for Kisuke, nothing out of the ordinary there. Might see double shotgun scouts from Zoukka. Very annoying to fight against. Well managed double shotgun scouts, I think. Force commander giving up that cap. He's going to go and have a word with these shooters instead. There's that Dakar. Light infantry squad, very good DPS, sustained DPS, and you can upgrade these guys to be pretty damn scary. In tier 1, bolt pistol taking out a model there, and now he's in melee. 40 DPS, chainsword. Warboss is slightly higher default damage, I believe it's 42.2 DPS with that huge chain axe of his. Arguably has a better sidearm though, that twin link shooter that he wields with one hand, and those shooters sticking around way too long, I think. Here come shotgun scouts. Force commander chasing the other shooter squad now. So a good decision by Zoukka early on to give up the capping of that VP. Look at the damage he's done to those shooters. Here comes sluggers, but I think there's too much here for them to deal with. There is the battle cry, buffing the damage of those scouts and those tactical marines, as you can see, and makes the force commander do these special attacks. Every time he does a special attack, that damage buff will stack up by 10%, and these sluggers are getting absolutely decimated here. Is he going to wipe them with range fire? Very nearly did. Now it's the Warboss, who is incredibly pissed off now, trying to get scout models off, and gets 2 of them, but he's taking a lot of damage here from these tactical marines who are using their Kraken bolts because they look pretty. No other reason to use them against orcs in tier 1, and down goes the Warboss. OMG. 1-to-1 cap. The other scout squad took that southeast VP. Another shooter boy dies. This force commander doing some serious work. He's already getting on the way to level 3. That's crazy. Amazing work early on from the force commander. Can Kisuke recover from all of that bleed and these Warboss going down, which obviously he needs to repurchase with no allies on the field to revive. Now Zoukka could get to capping. Scouts will take his natural VP, and tactical marines are taking Kisuke's with their 50% faster capping trait. Heavy infantry, pretty nice and durable, which you saw there in that engagement, but they don't finish this cap. And that's a mistake, I think. Don't think he meant to do that. He's coming all the way back. What is he up to? He's not capping the wreck point. Not sure what's going on there. 498, 483. We have a sergeant up for these scouts, and they're getting shotguns as well. Gives them that fragmentation grenade you can sell by that icon above their head there. We might see it on these sluggers as they charge in. There's the melee charge, and there's a shotgun blast instead, the safer option. And now you can shoot the crap out of them. 2 models go down. Ouch. 4 shotguns in your face is not pretty for the sluggers. There's tactical marines. Not sure what they did. 498, 452. Could have easily finished that cap on that VP, I think, or taken that contested wreck point over there. Single cap though for Zoukka. Good start for him in all. Very good start. Has used his scouts well. His force commander doing crazy work early on. Now is getting kitted out with the Iron Halo and Artificer, so he's going to be pretty damn tanky, almost into level 3 already. Warboss back on his feet. Has the Bang Bang Hammer, so we might see some nasty slugger play if he gives them burners, buffs them up with that hammer. Looters on the way. Gonna try and force assault marines onto the field from Zoukka perhaps, and counter initiate with sluggers and the Warboss. We'll see. Maybe a pain boy as well for Kisuke, I think would be pretty nasty. Shooters capping up the mid. No upgrades for these guys yet. This we do see big shooters on this squad, in fact. Have longer range than normal shooters and do more damage, and gives them that suppression on demand ability. Aiming, what's that? 481, 439. Grenade in retreat on those shooters maybe. He now has sergeants on both of those scouts. Was you saw the damage those big shooters were doing from the shooter boys on those scouts. Looters up now. A pretty good setup, Team Elite. Do good damage, and they can infiltrate themselves. We're going to eat a grenade here, or are they? No, they're not. Scouts cancelling their grenade. Perhaps predicted that they were going to retreat there. 481, 437. That's a well managed engagement by zoukka, flanking at the right time, using his force commander to tank the damage of those looters. Perhaps Kisuke could have switched targets manually on his looters to the scouts, but it would have been risky. Would have let the force commander run in on them when the suppression wore off him. And here's a flamer tactical marine squad doing good work on this node. Very strong start from zoukka, but look at the amount of stuff Kisuke has on the field now. He's got double looters, double shooters, and those sluggers. There's a grenade, there's another one. Ouch. Looters down to just a single model now. Force commander going after it, smacking it a few times. He might take this model out. Not quite. That's a lot of losses from Kisuke. Wow. zoukka has spent a lot of resources though on his 3 squads that are on the field. Fully upgraded scouts apart from elite training, and a flamer for his tactical marines. Force command is halfway through level 3 already. Oh, it looks like Kisuke did not mean to get double looters. He left them on Overwatch, I assume. Not a build you see very often at all from an Ork player, double looters. We'll see what he does with it now. 481, 437. Is that going to force zoukka into assault marines, or is he going to go tier 2 for a Razorback? Or maybe even save for a dreadnought? He has a good amount of resources here. We'll see what he does. No sign of tier 2. There we go. Warboss decapping zoukka's natural, and look at the map he has. zoukka's spending a lot of time fighting, and fighting reasonably well, but not capping as much. Kisuke capping these central points just before that engagement kicked off, and now this wreck point has fully matured to plus 30. And looters capping that. He might just keep these looters here infiltrated. These looters on the other side, his shooter boys both have big shooters now, so he can layer a lot of suppression onto this force commander, try and control him. He's done so well early on. This guy now has his shield down so he can regenerate energy. You see the iron halo is actually modelled on the character there. 448, 437. Scouts getting shot to pieces, but do not lose a model. And now the force commander is in amongst a bunch of orks. There's the Warboss though, buffing his army with that bang bang hammer. Each swing that connects, as you can see, that yellow buff circle stacking up. Also stacks up speed, and scouts almost wiped. How much health do they have? 5 health I think or so across 2 models there. A nice grenade, beautiful play from zoukka to come in and throw that grenade. Looters just about getting away, and unbelievable that those scouts got away. That was pretty damn lucky for zoukka, but he did do some good plays. Just ran in with his force commander, which wasn't advised, with the Warboss there smacking him with that hammer. There's 75 DPS melee weapon with that buff as well. It's a pretty nice piece of kit. Tactical Marines somehow have got into melee combat with looters and forced them off. Now they can decap and probably cap this VP with their faster capping. Kisuke is still in tier 1 because of this double looter play that I don't think he meant to do. zoukka, surely, he's getting assault marines. I thought he was going to get a dreadnought, and then I thought he was going to go straight into tier 3, but he's getting assault marines out. 347, 437. Kisuke has no power generators. A full farm for zoukka, which is not good facing a space marine player. Don't want these guys building up resources like that. Tactical marines are going to turn and engage these sluggers from range with that flamer, but are forced off by those double shooters and looters in behind there. Scouts on capping duty. Force commander now with his Thunderhammer, so he's fully kitted out. Thunderhammer, Artificer, and Iron Halo, so tanky and lots of disruption and some good DPS as well with his power melee Thunderhammer. And he's just tanking the damage of these looters just about. Wow. Took tons of damage and is forced off, in fact. Assault Marines jumping in, disrupting a whole bunch of shooters there. These guys have bolt pistols and chainsaws, very tough, 400 hit points per model of heavy infantry armor, but here comes sluggers with user choppers, global buff from the Warboss, forcing them to retreat. They do have their sergeant, and merciless strike will help a hell of a lot versus those sluggers. Will most likely mean that they win that engagement, in fact, if you can get the merciless strike off well. 307, 437. User choppers, sluggers bashing a node. These guys have no upgrades at all though, no burners and no knob leader. He's using his bang bang hammer more to buff his ranged army than his melee army. We have angry bits now also on the Warboss. Allows it to charge in, get some health regen and I think a damage buff and create craters and all sorts of stuff. 292, 437, double grenades on retreat path. Yes. You shouldn't throw 2 grenades in the same place like that though. If 1 grenade won't wipe, then 2 in exact the same place probably won't. 283, 437, though both of those grenades are on cooldown. Assault Marines jumping in, more looters though in behind, layering this suppression up. Warboss is there, going straight after the Assault Marines, trying to get models off them with that bang bang hammer. Shotgun, knockback and suppression. Looters are faced pretty well here against these Assault Marines. These guys do have a minimum jump distance, so if you get close enough with a suppression team, they can't jump you, but they can jump here. Bang. Sluggers are there. Force Commander's chasing them down. Assault Marines getting into all sorts of trouble, but they do get away, and now Devastator's on the field for Zoukka. A good choice, I think, to support his army. Thunderhammer smacking a slugger as they retreat. 255, 437 Kisuke with a pretty nice VP advantage. Tactical Marines now have a sergeant. See him there with the banner, chainsword and bolt pistol. Pretty good in melee combat and actually does more range damage than the other models do with their bolters. So he's a pretty damn good squad leader. Also gives them the "and they shall know no fear" ability, which is pretty nice. Will help if they get caught by sluggers and it's charged up. Actually gets charged up by damage rather than costing energy to activate. Here's a Death Dread going straight after those Devastators. Interesting choice from Kisuke. Now it's forcing Zoukka to do something. I don't think a Melter Bomb is going to be enough by itself. He might have to get a missile launcher or upgrade those Devastators to a las cannon or get a power fist. I don't think he's going to get a power fist. Missile launcher will be the most obvious choice, but he does have a decent amount of resources. Could get a dreadnought of his own soon and just smack that thing in the face. Burners and bits is up, increasing the health of the Death Dread and giving it 2 burners instead of 2 shooters at the front leg. Very good at taking out generators. I think it's got around 70 heavy melee DPS as well. Pretty nice splash. So not really the thing you want to run into an enemy vehicle, but very good at tying up and demolishing lumps of infantry. Here we see those burners. Need some support if it's going to bash those gens, I think. 240, 386, Devastators are covering. And they do have advanced targeting, so they have those vengeance rounds they can activate. Sluggers have their knob leader now. Takes them to 7 models, and a knob leader is pretty tasty. Gives them Swampum, which increases their speed and reduces the damage they take from ranged weapons. So a pretty awesome ability for sluggers. Pretty much exactly what they need. Scouts decapping, and it's kicking off at Zoukka's power. There's a Melter Bomb on the Death Dread. Warboss takes out an Assault Marine with a sync kill. That was awesome. Death Dread took tons of damage charging down those Devastators, but they do get away and the Death Dread survives. Missile onto Tactical Marines being tied up. Warboss charging in, causing all sorts of problems, knocking down his own sluggers in fact. Assault Marines still in play here, and sluggers are on them and they're getting caught in retreat. That is nasty. Can the Warboss turn around and finish them? He's going to try bang, and he does finish them. And this bang bang hammer buff is buffing the Death Dread. Smack, and down go those Tactical Marines. A terrible engagement for Zoukka. 224, 368, good grief. Kept those Assault Marines in play way too long. With sluggers there and a Warboss with bang bang hammer, which really has come good for Kisuke. Buffing that Death Dread as well. You don't really consider it often to be buffing vehicles. But it's working out pretty good for him here. 209368. Force Commander can't take on both of these things, I don't think. Death Dread is very low. And it's level 2.5 this thing, so if you can back it out, repair it up, that is going to be a pretty nice tool for him. Zoukka is tier 3, and we might see some Terminators very soon. Alternatively, could save for a Land Raider or get a tank out right now. In fact, I think, I'm not sure, because he has double looters, so beamy def guns are pretty nasty. So maybe not a tank. Might be Terminators. He needs... doesn't need anything, in fact he can afford Terminators right now, so we'll see what he goes for. It's a big decision for Zoukka to make. Maybe he should have got a Dread when he could. Looters in retreat. Shotgun blasted in the face by scouts who are now going to decap Kisuke's natural. Kisuke with a 2-to-1, 168, 368. 200 VPs for Zoukka to make up. Can he do it? He's in the right tier to do so, but losing those Assault Marines and those Tactical Marines, which he poured a lot of resources into, remember. He had a Sergeant for those guys, purchased a Flamer and a Missile Launcher, and then lost them. And those were also Melter Bomb and Sergeant Assault Marines that were lost as well, so huge losses for Zoukka. But now he has those Assault Terminators, you just saw them come in there. Thunderhammers and Storm Shields, very heavy melee damage that can go up against all targets, and incredibly tough. 5,400 hit points. They can't retreat, but they do inspire nearby troops on every kill. Nearby allied troops, obviously, which will stack nicely with battle cry. I think it's around 50 deep heavy melee DPS per model. It might be 40. Either way, it's pretty nasty. 163, 351, and of course he has them there. If Kisuke manages to get knobs out later, he can get those lightning claws and tear them to shreds. Kisuke taking his natural back. Looks like we're going to see Kisuke assault him head on here. I think he should flank around this area and go and hit power. Zoukka with 250 red. Devastators tied up by the Death Dread. Assault Terminator is obviously going after it. There is user choppers on the Sluggers who are going straight after those Assault Terminators. Scouts get away, or do they? Yes, they do. Unfortunately for those Sluggers, they don't have burners. A couple of power melee weapons would help them a little bit more versus those Assault Terminators. Kisuke not moving his double shooters there. What is he doing? Big mistake. 163, 344. They're not in this engagement here. Death Dread finishes off the Devastators, but is going to go down to those Assault Terminators. Down it goes. Use it. That is Odd Boys on the Sluggers, boosting their damage resistance, and the Assault Terminators get away. Why did he not move his shooters there? It's a bunch of piercing damage, which is not great versus super heavy infantry armor. They take a lot less damage from piercing weapons, but still would have helped. Maybe helped him get a model there off them. 163, 344. Warboss trying to get a model now. Running into base turrets and shotguns though. Scouts just killed a bunch of stuff. Some looters there with a grenade, probably. 163, 339. He's done well with these scouts in general. Zoukka level 3 and level 3. These guys are almost level 4. He's got them away, luckily, a couple of times though. Looters coming into play at the right time. Are the Assault Terminators gonna teleport onto those looters? Might still be on cooldown from when they escaped with it. There you see that inspiration on kill, buffing the Force Commander and those scouts. And now it does teleport on the looters. Are they gonna get away? Are they even gonna try and get away? There's the retreats. And looks like they are going to get away. That was pretty lucky. Double shooters now pouring the Daka onto them. 2-to-1 cap for Zoukka. He's got some more Devastators now. Terminator's obviously completely changing the game here. Kisuke gets another Death Dread. And I don't think that was a good choice. And some more looters. Level 6 Force Commander, level 3 Warboss, has those cyborg implants, means he can stun those Terminators. Stun, a very good tool to use versus Terminators. They can't retreat out of it, and it obviously prevents them from teleporting or attacking or doing anything else. 163, 289, something in that vein. It might be a good idea for him to get a Weird Boy on the field. Weird Boys can be pretty annoying versus Terminators. 163, 282. A Weird Boy instead of this Death Dread I think would have been the best choice. And get some burners in their sluggers. They're level 3, they deserve some burners. Double shooters fully upgraded. Looters also to cover everything, try and control that Force Commander is kicking off in the northwest. These scouts in trouble, but more scouts in to help them with a grenade. And Kisuke I think has forgotten about his looters and is going to lose them here. 163, 263. Meanwhile, Zoukka just backing off from this side, not wanting to fight all this stuff. Death Dread needs to turn around and bash these gens. There we go, using his ranged stance to burn them down. And the looters actually got away just about. He needs something else over here, I think, Kisuke. It's an interesting map because it really does force you to balance your forces between the two sides, especially late game. Zoukka perhaps with the perfect balance. He can send his double scouts over here, which are pretty self-sufficient with shotguns and a grenade, and has the sheer power of his assault terminators on the other side alongside the Force Commander and Devastators, and a Dreadnought on the way. Warboss still not level 4. Shooters looks like they are going to go over and help out those looters on the northwestern side. 163, 251. He's waiting for his Dreadnought. There it is. Comes with 2 close combat weapons, wrist mounted flamer, melee inspiration on kill, or inspiration on a melee kill I should say. And he could stack that up, or try and stack that up with the Terminator's inspiration and his battle cry to get a bunch of inspiration, all inspiring each other. 163, 238. You can't inspire the Dreadnought though, I don't think, unfortunately. He just inspires other things. Devastators with their default heavy bolt of steel try and control that Warboss, I think. Where are the Terminators now? They're coming in pretty late here. There's the Dreadnought. There's his Emperor's Fist forcing off all of the infantry. The Dreadnought backing the hell away using its Rampage ability or whatever it's called to boost its speed. 163, 220. Looks hilarious when it walks that fast. 163, 217. A power bash maybe. Gonna get a triple cap I think, Zoukka. And Kisuke, he's just been sat on this side for very long and hasn't done a whole lot over there in terms of pressure on Zoukka's economy. He can drop a nuke though. He's going tier 3 and has 716 red, so he can drop a nuke and do a bunch of buffs. And get a Nob Squad reasonably soon if he wants to. I think he should get some flash kits instead though, or maybe a looted tank and try and keep it away from those assault terminators to shoot down that Dreadnought. A battle wagon even maybe, if he can save that long. That power generator with 6 hit points just holding on. Tier 3 now for Kisuke. If he had a Weird Boy here, he could do the Warp Vomit stun and then rocks on the Terminator's faces and they wouldn't be able to retreat out of it. Beamy Death Gun looters getting shots off on that Dreadnought, doing huge amounts of damage per shot. Look at the damage, wow. User choppers on the sluggers. Assault Terminators going after the Death Dread. Looters need to move up and they're doing so now. Dreadnought is going to get away. I don't think the Death Dread is going to get away though. There's now I'm angry, down goes the Death Dread. Can he get an Assault Terminator down? Nope, they teleport out without a loss, and the Dreadnought gets away as well. Another Force Commander is in amongst stuff, and here's scouts in retreat path. Grenade? No. Wants to save it for the next engagement, I think. He's trying to take down this Dreadnought with Slugger Knives and his Bang Bang Hammer, which is not going to work out too well. Especially with Assault Terminators there, those Sluggers are done for. No, they're not done for. Assault Terminator is backing away from a Bang Bang Hammer, not wanting to lose a model, but it's a triple cap bazooka. 163, 44. It might be all over here. Zoukka could afford a Land Raid Redeemer right now, in fact. GG, says Kisuke. Just couldn't quite finish off that Dreadnought with those beamy looters. Maybe if he had the Power Claw up. Oh, he had it up a bit too late there. 163, 22. But he did have it up at the end. 95 heavy melee DPS from this thing. Force Spawner did well. Level 6. Zoukka started off incredibly strong. Then had a couple of bad engagements in this area where he lost a bunch of scouts, almost lost his force commander, but backed it up with a nice grenade. Kisuke with that mistaken double looters, which actually worked out reasonably well for him. Had that awesome engagement up here where he wiped attacks and assault marines, but the assault terminators changed everything, came onto the field, tanked everything ever, and killed a bunch of stuff. The second Death Dread, I think a big mistake from Kisuke, but there you have it guys, a nice 1v1. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.